I don't have time. Do a YouTube intro? That's so embarrassing in front of all of you. I'll give you money to do the YouTube intro. God damn it! I can't say no to that. Fuck, what was it? Hello everybody! My name is Saint Polaris, that's first name Saint, last name Polaris, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be reacting to another internet historian. Finally, right? Like, where the fuck has he been? Like, seriously. I'm talking about me, myself, I'm talking about myself. Give me my money! So guys... $20? I'll take it. You gonna watch the ads this time? I never skip internet historian ads, bitch. I skip JonTron's, because his ads are fucking boring.
Brought to you by NordVPN.
How's the volume?
Tisk.
Also,
tisk,
he's a dingus.
Tisk. Look at you. Uncultured. Unsophisticated. Middle class.
How could you say such a thing?
No, don't speak. You'll just make me row up. I'd say cover up with this dinner jacket, but I'm afraid that you'd get your head stuck in the sleeve and asphyxiate.
Help, I'm stuck.
Listen, lowborn. Don't you want to be refined? Don't you want to be fancy?
Yeah.
Like moi?
I don't
French.
want to be middle
I don't
class.
expect you to know what it means, but I have some good news. Before this financial year ends, I have decided to make a charitable deduction. It's you, champ. For you see, I...
You can have premarital sex.
There's virus.
What the
I
fuck?
have made several videos, though,
Fuck?
which will show you how to bluff your way to the inner circles. Undetected. Yes. By the time the elites find out,
Neon Genesis Evangelion is psychological and intense.
it will be too late.
He's legit
They get
talking to
in,
you.
You eat all your doves, and we get out. That's
The volume's
plan.
quite low.
And let's begin your instruction.
Are you
with
being serious?
theater? The
Theater.
YouTube premium of upper society. And the first section? Symphony.
I'll just cut this out. Is it quiet? Everyone else is saying it's good. It is low? The fuck? Okay. Okay, I'll turn it
The
up
first period
all
of
way then.
performance, that's called Baroque, from 1600 to 1750. This featured Bach and Vivaldi.
Now there was also a guy named Giuseppe Tartini, and he was the best one of
Ouchie,
them
my
all,
ear is
because
so
one
loud.
evening
Shut the
he
fuck
had
up,
a
you
dream
guys.
where the devil showed up and presented him with a deal.
Okay.
The devil would become his teacher and impart on him everything he knew about music. Yes. Once Tartini had learnt everything he could, he handed over his violin and asked the devil to play.
Okay.
The devil played the greatest musical piece that Tartini had ever heard.
Tartini woke up with a gasp, and he tried to recreate what he had heard in the dream.
And what he wrote down was his most famous piece, the best thing he had ever written.
And he said, "This is shite compared to the original. This is nothing better than a tribute." And that's where you get the Tenacious D song from. He named this piece The
course.
Devil's Trill.
I think I've
And
heard
he claimed
this.
that the difference between his version and the version in the dream was so great that he would have smashed his violin and quit music forever had he not needed it for his job.
Classical, 1750 to 1830.
I heard about that story.
Mozart and Beethoven.
Yeah,
show
apparently
up
it's like a super complicated
Da-da-da-da.
song.
Now, Beethoven was famously known for going deaf. Once that happened, everyone told him that he should just quit music forever. But he just wouldn't hear it. Anyway,
Stupid.
there's so much I could say about these two. Romantic era. Now that's when everybody started kissing, and it's my favorite. Great piece. Mwah. Oh, you played wonderfully too. Mwah. We also enjoyed listening. Mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. All you need to know about this one is Chopin and Berlioz. Berlioz, however, was not getting any kisses. He was relatably, painfully single, living alone in Paris, the city of love. So, here's how it started. He's there and he's in his early 20s, and he is looking for a new GF. So one day, he attends a
He's just like me. No kisses.
And on stage, he spots an actress, and he immediately falls in love with her. He wrote her many notes, confessing his love, but her DMs went unreplied.
Unbelievable.
So he began writing a symphony about her. How can she ignore this? And also around this time he started smoking a lot of opium, but don't worry about it. Anyway, so he wrote this piece just for her. However, his DM still went unreplied. For several months he started to get quite disheartened.
He's me.
Until he saw another girl.
Let's
so
go.
He immediately fell in love with her instead, and he said, you know what? I'm going to change that symphony I wrote.
Yeah,
so
fuck
now
that Harriet bitch.
And not about that ugly one that I didn't like anyway. This time, happily, she reciprocated, and they fell in love and were set to marry. Suddenly, what the fuck? Phones haven't been invented yet. Yes, hello, I'm busy. Oh, Rome? To study? Absolutely, I'll catch the first flight out. So, Berlioz went to Rome to study music. However,
he's doing actual history.
He got some news.
Berlioz, I have to tell you something.
Sacre bleu. Some other, more handsome musician swooped in and married his girl while he was in Rome, and they ran away together.
How does that happen?
Was furious, and he set his mind to solving the problem. I know what I'm going to do.
What?
I'm gonna murder her and her lover.
Okay.
And her mom. And then I'm gonna do a self-murder.
You read that text,
so this
Dowshin?
gets pretty elaborate.
Yeah.
His idea is to dress up as a housemaid. He has bought
not a joke. This is really how he described his plans.
Now he is going to sneak into the house of his ex-fiancée, and there she and her mother will be sipping tea, which he has already poisoned. Then he will pull off the clothing and reveal himself. Blam, blam, sad.
It's so stupid.
So he heads back home to Paris to do it.
Good anime.
But while on his
Akiba Made
there,
Wars.
Takes quite a while. He has to change carriages. And when he does that, he leaves the guns in one of the little cupboards.
That's so smart.
So he's lost all his weapons.
Crazy.
What is he going to do now? Well, his next leg on the stop is Genoa.
I thought he was going to kill himself.
You know what? Let's just skip the murder and go straight to the finale. So he stops off in the port city of Genoa, and he's there at the side of the Mediterranean. He pauses for a moment, then he throws himself in. Now, some people see this whole thing happen, and they think he's had an accident, so they run in to try to save him. They pull him to the shore. He lived. So he has now reached his lowest point. He dejectedly continues home. He gets back to Paris, and he wallows around, feeling pretty sorry for himself. But he decides, you know what? I may as well do what I do best in times of trouble. Smoke a lot of opium.
Yeah.
And while I do that, I shall write a symphony. Although I ain't gonna name it after that hoe who stole my heart. And so he went back to work. But here's the thing. It was the greatest piece he had ever written. And it premiered to a huge crowd. And you know
Symphony
what? It was a
Fantasy.
smash hit. #1 on iTunes.
Oh,
but
shit.
Then, and here's a bloody plot twist. Remember the first girl? Well, she attended that concert, and she realized that Berlioz was a genius. And then she wrote a letter to your boy saying how good your bloody symphony was, and sorry about not replying, I just put my phone down and got super busy or whatever.
Oh my god.
I love you. And so Berlioz goes, well, I love you too. And a year later, they were married.
There's a beautiful moral of the story. See, fellas, don't jump in the Mediterranean.
Just
Anyway,
get good,
a few years
and
later,
then you'll
they
get
got
the
divorced.
pussy. Oh,
Because
okay.
weirdly, he cheated on his wife with the housemaid.
What?
Not that one, a different one. But then he married that housemaid.
All right.
Hooray! But then when he died later on, for some reason, he gets buried with both of them.
Oh.
Strange. But moving on to the Impressionist musicians. Now that's Claude de... The what now? Claude de what? You know what? You'd better go to ad time. Alright guys, welcome
fuck
back
up.
to the Nord Stream. Today we're playing Assassin's Creed 3. Chat, come on, chat.
Chat.
Everyone's spamming Nord in the chat.
Chat.
Whoa, a new follower! Hey, welcome to the Dream Team Sub.
It's me.
Thank you so much for great to see. Oh, unfollowed. Sorry, guys. The cleaners are here.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
Just ignore the mess. I haven't cleaned up these bottles yet. No, it's just tea. It's just tea. I stream for 10 hours a day, and it's like the algorithm is against me or something.
Yeah,
How come
the
everyone is
algorithm.
watching Asmon's stream?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm not getting any new followers. I'm playing the games.
I know, right?
What more do you want me to do?
I know, right? I just need to play Valorant, dude. I just need to play more Valorant, and then I'll hit a big one.
Quick word from the sponsor. NordVPN is the VPN that you can trust. So go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian for a huge deal on a 2-year plan plus 4 bonus months for free, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee. My God. Today we are going to be watching the new Snow White movie. I love the intro. Oh, I love seeing that Disney logo. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Guys, I'm just gonna get up.
What
and get
is
some food.
this?
I'll be back.
Oh my God, bruh. Is this actually? Am I gonna get fucked by this? Let me just mute this. Oh, there it is.
What the fuck? Who reported my stream?
As someone who plays Valorant religiously,
Hello, my
don't.
Nordlings. Welcome back to the stream. Can we get some ends in the chat, guys? No, not like that. Mods!
Can I get some N's in the chat, guys?
Welcome back to the ASMR stream for NordVPN. Today I'm going to be drinking a can of Coke while I say the word Nord.
Ew.
Nord.
Ew.
Hey,
I hate it, actually.
3 sub. With NordVPN, I can be outside my house, Jack's Film's house, Samito's house, Ordinary Things' house. Just like that. Welcome back to the hot tub stream.
Oh my
What do
God.
you guys mean? How many hot dogs can I put in my mouth?
Oh my God, it's the downward spiral of I play games all the time. Why aren't people coming here? I'll try some ASMR. Now I'm doing porn.
Why? I'll just... Oh my God, $5,000 donation. Thank you so much. You guys are such good friends. Streaming's not for me. I'd rather go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian to get a huge deal on a 2-year plan, plus 4 months for free.
See what I mean
And
by his
over.
ads are funny as hell. They're interesting. They're fun to watch. They're content in and of themselves.
All
Ew.
tucked in with a 3-hour essay on Good Game Good, and here's why.
Fallout New Vegas is actually the only based Bethesda game.
Turn that off. I've got something for you much less enjoyable and far more expensive. We're going to the theater.
Yay!
Theater, from the ancient Greek theatron, the most dramatic of the Transformers. It means a place for viewing. Here's a Roman theater. They were quite simple back then. We have the stage, the auditorium, and the vomitorium. Now, for a very long time, people thought that the vomitorium was a place where the Romans would gorge themselves, where they would eat so much that they would throw up, and then gorge themselves again because they were so decadent and or bulimic. But it comes from the word vomir, which means to spew forth, because
So
that's
it
where people go
means-
in and out. So vomitorium is just a dramatic way of saying the
Entrance.
Now,
Okay.
to skip forward to the 1800s, things are getting a lot more modernized, but they still didn't have electric. So they had what's called the limelight. And that's why they say, to be in the limelight,
Oh, hey, that's the sound
to be
effect
the
I
star
use.
of the show. What they would do was take a piece of quicklime and heat it up super, super hot, which will naturally glow very bright. They would then take reflective mirrors and lenses to focus the beam, and they would use that as an early form of the spotlight. The limelight is not because it's green, but because it's made from quicklime. In the modern day, things are a lot more advanced, and they can do all
Did they
sorts
teach
of
you
cool
anything
shit
like
with,
this in film
lasers
school?
going into your eyeballs. And all sorts of stuff.
We had theater class, yes.
It's
But
not
he
just
never
the
taught
tech
us
that's
about
had an
theater
upgrade,
history.
It's the architecture as well. In Elizabethan times, they had the yard.
Just how to
You could
act
get
and
in
shit.
here for about a penny apiece, and this is where all the poor people stood to watch the shows. It's
More
like when you
interesting
go to
than expected.
Oppenheimer and you end up with the worst seats in the IMAX theater.
Bruh.
Right? But thankfully, in modern times, we have fixed that problem. We kicked out all the poor people and we sunk the floor down low and put in an orchestra pit. Now, these things are usually 6 to 12 feet deep.
Oh,
so they're
wow,
not
really?
obstructing the audience's view. But having a giant hole at the end of a stage is quite dangerous. So usually they put a big net there as well. And yet, a lot of people still get,
Oh, shit.
like a lot of people.
Oh, fuck.
In 2011, during
Those
a
pits are
production
deep
of
as
The
fuck.
Sound of Music,
I didn't know
one
that.
of the lead actresses fell into the orchestra pit and was left paralyzed from the waist down.
What?
Fell into the orchestra pit and was left
This accident occurred in November 2011. Monica remains paralyzed from the waist down to this day. What the fuck?
paralyzed from the waist down. In 2009, a conductor, not a superconductor, just a regular one, fell 14 feet into the dark pit
Jesus.
and broke 9 vertebrae and 1 ankle.
He made a full recovery, apparently.
And he fell on his pointy conducting thing.
What the
At the
fuck?
Bolshoi Theatre, a violinist died from his injuries after
He fell into the pit, 65 years old. He survived the fall but died in the hospital. He had been working at the theater for 4 decades. What the fuck?
falling into the pit. This theatre is prone to all sorts of accidents, by the way. It's kind of cursed. But performers and musicians aren't the only ones falling into the pit.
The pit
In
claims more.
1988, an 82-year-old man fell from his balcony box seating all the way down into the pit during a performance of Macbeth. He
During the intermission, the man was sitting on the balcony rail. When an usher requested he not, he tipped over backwards and fell.
died. Very spooky. Even
Hi,
already
Zach.
dead people are getting pitted. In 2016, a man sprinkled his friend's ashes into the orchestra pit at the Met Theatre.
Why?
This happened during the intermission, and it was a sort of tribute to a mentor of his. But of course, people went, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, what the fuck
And he
are you
goes,
doing?
"Oh, I don't know." And he flees the scene. Everyone's coughing and sneezing up dead guy, and people think, "Is this anthrax? What is this?" So they call in the anti-terrorism police.
Incident occurred on October 29th. The man responsible, Roger Kaiser, was seen by several musicians sprinkling white powdery substances in the pit. The ashes were of his friend, Terry Turner, who died of cancer. He was not charged, and he wrote an open letter of apology.
And the whole show is cancelled for the rest of the evening. A quick intermission. Or is it?
Oh,
Ooh, fiddle-tee-dee. I am the trap master.
fiddle-dee-dee.
Not like that. Do not ask me to reveal my secrets, woman. I have dedicated my life
Guy in cave
to
still
the
terrifies
mysteries
me.
of the
It's horrifying.
theater. Ah, the theater. She has so many enigmatic traps.
Whoa.
Let us start with the most simple yet
Yeah, we're just
devious,
watching YouTube.
The wall trap. It allows the
It's the
actor
last
to
stream of
walk
the week. I can be
directly
lazy.
into the set piece. Ah, where did he go? Nobody knows. Cast your eyes over here to the genie trap. Now, the victim stands on this dumbwaiter, and a counterweight launches their hapless
Oh.
body up onto the stage.
It's Sai.
Whoosh! In the olden days, this circle of flaps would sometimes go on top, and then that would make the whole thing just one way. Now, back when they made this thing, they didn't have hydraulics. So instead, they'd have like 6 stagehands pulling as fast as they could. And sometimes it would go totally wonky, or it wouldn't open properly, or they'd only get about halfway through. Oh, well, I guess that's it. There's only 2. Wrong! This is the vampire trap.
Oh my
And if
god.
I want to come back up again, this is called the sunroof trap. Very cool. Watch out for the closing doors on this one. It managed to trap Spider-Man's foot.
Thursday evening, Daniel Curry, an ensemble dancer and understudy, was seriously injured after his leg became pinned in a trap door. Ah, nightmare, nightmare, nightmare.
Back into production in 2013. Me and the Green Goblin, we collabed on this one.
All right, there's one more. The Ghost Glide. What you do is stand on this slidey bit, and it ascends diagonally, which makes it look like he's coming out of the ground. But the ladies are there yawning.
That's
They're
kinda
going,
lame.
"Ew, short ghost." But then,
Short ghost.
5 foot, 5'1", 5'2". All the ladies are turning their heads now. 5'3".
Now he's hot.
5'4".
God damn.
5'5". Oh,
The perfect height. That's the perfect height. No one would break up with someone for being 5'5".
all the ladies are loving it. Now, I bet you're wondering, what happens to the actors when they go down these traps? Are
I
they
subscribed
dead
in
and gone
YouTube and
forever?
followed on Twitter. Thank you.
Yes, sometimes. In
Oh.
1888, Frederick Federici was playing the role of Mephistopheles in Faust at the Princess Theatre in Melbourne.
I read
As he
Matt
d-
Pat might have been an understudy for the Spider-Man musical. Oh. Alright, Saint, I need to get some sleep. Body's angry, starting to develop a headache. Thank you so much for coming. I'll see you next week. Or in the Discord for movie night. Well, it's Scott Pilgrim night this weekend. Bye-bye. Awesome play. I've never heard of it.
of Mephistopheles in Faust at the Princess Theatre in Melbourne. As he descended the trap at the end of the play, "Goodbye, everybody, goodbye," he had a heart attack.
What?
And died. Never seen again.
What?
So as you can imagine, with this many deaths, the theatre has become a highly haunted place. Oh yes.
Scott
In fact,
Pilgrim tomorrow, Sunday.
Sometimes you can
Sunday.
put your ear right up to the wall and you can hear 2 male ghosts wrestling. Can't fake that. Another ghost hole. Don't look inside.
Ghost
I did
hole.
once. Almost went blind. That's why I wear the mask.
Of
Anyway,
course.
because of all the ghosts, the theatres do whatever they can to keep the spirits happy.
That's what a glory hole looks like? That's like metal and splinters and shit, right? You'd put your dick through that? You'd have to have a really long dick to feel anything. Like, if I put my dick through that, it's just like the little bit of the head at the end there. It wouldn't be anything. Isn't that Pomni on your Twitter? Yeah, I have a Pomni clip. Free to
See
use
this?
model.
It's called a ghost light. When everything is closed,
They put
it is
duct
kept
tape?
on always.
Yeah, that makes
Kept
it
on
better.
for the ghosts, so that they don't.
How do you know
bump
that?
Their shins in the dark or whatever. At the Palace Theatre in London, there has been some ghostly activity.
It seems to be a bit of a hotspot for ghostly activities.
And that's why they always keep 2 empty seats at the back so that the ghosts may sit there and watch the show.
So that's why we traditionally kept a couple of seats off sale for the ghosts. However, Harry Potter is so popular that we sell those seats now.
Oh.
Oh.
Also, most theatres close for 1 day per week. And on those days, the ghosts are left to perform for each other in their
Let's
own
go.
shows. Which they like, we think.
I was worried about my own vagina. It
Oh,
needed a
finally,
context,
the vagina
a
monologues.
culture of other
Funny wizards
know,
are more important than
I
ghosts.
wasn't always part of the elite. In fact, from a very young age, I grew up in an orphanage.
No, my parents weren't dead. Rent in that building was just really cheap.
Oh.
But my parents showed me no affection. And as soon as they could, they sent me off to boarding school.
What's going on? We're just watching a video.
Boards were always their passion, not mine.
That's stupid.
I tried to run away, but they caught me. And boy, did they throw the book at me. Alas, I did not dodge in time. I spent the next few years in a coma. A Native American town, Pueblo, Acoma. And the people there taught me how to read American. They also had a local library, and I spent my days buried in books, learning as much as I could.
Oh no!
And once someone
Let's
noticed
get
me
that
buried
dumb.
under those books, and they rescued me. I knew I wanted to teach default character presets like yourselves, all about Shakespeare. Editor's note: I started Googling Shakespeare and I got kind of distracted, so I don't know. Here's a WAV file. You can do something with this. Put him in like a classroom or something.
What? What name channel in YouTube? This is Internet Historian, one of the best YouTube channels out there. Every video he has is absolute quality. The man is a master.
Alright, attention, everybody. I am your new teacher. You are a bunch of troubled inner city youths. All you know is shoot gun, fail test, and crime. But I'm here to teach you that actually, books and reading and stuff are actually pretty epic after all. Now, the earliest known written language is what, Mr. Single Parent Household? I don't know, Teach, but you're never gonna get
household?
through to me. Oh, really? Well, what if I go back in time?
The first written language was Sumerian.
Back in time. In the long, long ago, very few could read. But to be fair, most of the written languages were kinda shit. This is cuneiform, the very first written language.
Which was from Sumeria!
And it has far too much punctuation. Then eventually came along the Egyptians, and they invented emojis, but they would call them
Shut up, shut the fuck up. It was from Sumeria!
hieroglyphs. Anyway, the typical written thing would go like this. Message for you, sir.
You mean Sumer? Who cares? It's autumn.
And with stick. Man sitting. Circle. Oh, more bills. Eventually that became quite annoying, so the Phoenicians, who were a kind of Lebanese, very progressive, especially for those days. Now they came up with a better idea. They started going, hey, that sounds a bit like an A.
True.
That sounds a bit like a B. And so on and so on, until we had a proto-form of the alphabet. Now, the Greeks thought that was pretty neato, but they said, let's come up with an even better version with 22 letters, and soon that will be like English. Oral history. Greeks more like geeks. Got 'em. Oh, yeah? Well, let me tell you about something highly relatable. Of the surviving Greek works, the greatest hits were the Iliad and the Odyssey. Now, because most people couldn't read, this stuff wasn't written down
Just
for
like
a
you,
very
kid.
long time. And instead, it was memorized and performed. And when they performed it, they used one of these, a lyre.
Ooh.
Now, this was great for conveying tone, right? So, here's a soft bit, doo-doo-doo, but then this is a big dramatic bit. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Now, the Iliad starts with this guy, Menelaus.
Genshin
king of Sparta,
reference.
And he has a wife, Helen, and she is a very fine lady. And then the Prince of Troy shows up. His name is Paris, and he goes, damn, shorty, awooga, awooga. Hey, that's what he'd say, right? And he and his boys abduct her and took her all the way back to his crib in Troy.
That's cool.
Now this makes Menelaus quite miffed.
Hey, hold on there, Buster.
He declares a turf war, but he can't win
Hey,
it
Saint,
alone.
it's you.
So he
Which
calls
one?
on his homies. Odysseus, king of Ithaca, and Achilles, the best drive-by shooter of all time. But Achilles is not in the mood to fight, so the whole of the Iliad is basically spent trying to convince this guy to get involved.
Please?
No.
Please?
No.
Eventually, they win the turf war by being very sneaky. They make a giant horse, which is the symbol of Troy, and they leave it at the front gate. That's their way of saying, "Oh, I guess you win. We're walking away now." And meanwhile, thousands of soldiers go off and hide in some bushes. Now, the Trojans are very suspicious, but they can see that the Greek ships are actually sailing away into the horizon. So they know
There's zero
must be
chance
real,
the Trojan
must be real.
horse story is true.
We've won the many years war.
But, like, it would be cool if it was, though,
Actually,
right?
there's almost no one on those ships, and there's a surprise inside the horse. Later that night, when everyone's asleep, boiling hot tzatziki everywhere. And also some soldiers wearing thermal protection, they get out and they open the gates, and then everyone comes out of the bushes, running into the city, and kill everybody.
Yay.
After they win the war, Odysseus
loved your
heads
story,
back
it was
home
funny.
to
Which
Ithaca.
one?
However,
Thank
on
you.
his way, he starts making beef with Poseidon, god of the sea. And Poseidon is mad at the disrespect, so he sends Odysseus on a long-ass detour, and that detour is the story of the Odyssey. Pretty epic, right, kids? Whoa, Teach, that's fire. I'm starting to come around.
That's
that
fire.
Odysseus guy is literally me. Yeah, I'm gonna try that horse trick on my ops. Homer, from Homer's Odyssey,
What?
is not a character in the story. He's the guy who tells the story. and
Facts,
people write it
Teach,
down.
facts.
Now, moving chronologically to the next big one, you've got the Bible. And for all practical purposes, this was basically an oral tradition too. Most people were illiterate by this point, and the Bible
Hell
was
yeah.
written in Latin. And pretty much only the clergy knew Latin, so they would be the one to recite it to people.
It says that the cute lady at the front should go on a date with me, please. Listen, the rules are the rules. I didn't say it, the book did.
There was a
fuck is
translated
that?
version into English, the Wycliffe's Bible, and you better believe that thing was a threat to the order. So they made that illegal to own.
What?
And if you were found with an unlicensed copy, the punishment would be death. So
Kingdom
it remained,
Come
the
Deliverance.
Bible was read to the people. Now, by the 1300s came Chaucer, who wrote the Canterbury Tales, and that was a
The
pretty
actual
big deal,
author of the Odyssey and Iliad are highly disputed. Really?
because it's one of the first significant works written in Middle English. It describes a bunch of people making a pilgrimage from Southwark to Canterbury, which is here to here, which was the longest journey anyone had ever made in the 1300s. Now, it's a whole series of stories.
Imagine
and
knowing
most of them can be
things.
boiled
I know,
down
right?
to, how come if everyone is on a pilgrimage, you're all so focused on material stuff? Oh, hypocrites much? Dong. It's now the 1600s, and they've updated
editing
all the
is so
textbooks
good.
from Middle English to regular. In 1601, King James I said, "All right, you know what? Let's everyone have a copy of the Bible they can read. Let's do a King James Bible. I won't feature in it, but I'd love to be in the title." And he commissioned a committee of scholars to rewrite the thing in English. God's language.
Yay, God's language.
It took 8 years. And that brings us to Shakespeare. And he's a huge deal. Oh, look, we're out of time.
Damn.
Oh, but sir.
But it was getting so good.
We're supposed to do penis inspection day today. No, there's no time. Roll the end card. The end. Alright, that's the lesson. You watched the whole video. Or at least, you had it on in the background while you scrolled your phone. And I couldn't be prouder of you. There's just one more quick thing I want to tell you about. Theater props. For example, this gun. Now, the thing... Oh, look who it is.
Oh,
I know what you're thinking, but it's just an actor. We all know that the real Lincoln is dead.
Hello,
You know, when
Galba.
he fell asleep on the tracks of the Underground Railroad. Anyway, this thing is super realistic.
the fuck did he just say?
Although the trigger is a little loose. Ruh-roh. Oh, I can't believe you did that.
Jesus
But I
Christ.
won't tell anyone. And, you know, in fact,
Not
good news.
again.
I'm gonna make you my little protege. And I will be your protege. And I got so
Nice.
many more lessons to teach.
Lincoln's such a good vampire hunter. You
Still
know
here.
about that?
Yes, just a little cleaning. More good news. Next video is almost done. It'll be on incognito mode, and it's about the arts. And the next main channel video is also nearly done. That'll be out shortly after.
Really?
If you're looking for more content in the meanwhile, we have another channel called Story Mode. The Metal Gear Solid and Forspoken videos are especially good. Don't forget NordVPN. Thank you for watching. More soon.
Cool. The next main channel is almost out? That's insane.